I'm going to go ahead and get started. Back this music up just a bit. All right, now it's officially official. I will do the full intro when the 5 minutes has gone by, and we start right at noon. But as usual, for anyone who's joining like in the next minute or so, I will tell them to hide their screens if they do not want to be part of the video, and to mute themselves. No one's here yet, so I'm just checking again. Check, check, check. Sound is good. Audio is good. We're recording. My name is up there. Oh, I'm a bit tired today. Oh shoot, I need to start it up here. Stretch while we're standing. Okay. Whew. I'm so washed out. Alright, a few more minutes. We got about 4 more minutes since there's really no one in here to do intros to. Wait a little bit longer. 3 more minutes now. Or I'll probably start like a minute before. I like to be precise. Also to the person who's editing this, or anybody who's like watching and I don't realize you're watching. If I run up to my screen, other than to angle it downwards to the floor, again, it's because my computer is probably trying to update something. It's a Windows, so it's trying to update all the time, like even when it doesn't really need to. So I apologize for that. We'll try and act casual about it, but I'm just going to tend to it to make sure that this doesn't shut down in the middle of me running the workout for you all. So it might just be me today. We'll find out, which I don't blame you all. It is a holiday, but we'll get through it. You all can watch us later and do it. For anyone who cares to know, we are doing arms today because we did legs last time. A little bit of core in there, because you know that's always good to have. As usual, since we're still kind of in the recording, the pre-show, basically. Anyone who sees this, please, at any time, you know, during filming, try and put any questions or concerns in the chat. I may not see it right away, but because I can't hear you, that'll be the best way for me to know what to do. I'll at least see like a little thing pop up on my screen, so that'll be somewhat helpful. I'll catch it eventually, but yeah, if anything like weird goes on with my screen, or if you are having issues, or if you can't hear me, please do let me know. All right, with that said, we got a minute till we start, so let's go ahead and get the show rolling. Hi there, guys. It's Johnny from Roller Derby Athletics. Today we are going to work out some upper body. And there we go. Hello there. Hi. Awesome. Right on the dot. All right, cool. So yes, since we are getting started, we're like starting right in a minute. Oh, I need to pin my screen. Let me pin my screen really quick. All right, perfect. All right, so you're good to go. Yes. Quick reminder for anybody, if you don't, since this will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, if you don't want to be seen while you work out, please hide yourself, but you don't have to. Welcome everyone. Oh, I love it. We got people coming in. And you all are muted, so that's good. That way we can hear me talk. That way we can kind of hear what I'm doing. But if anybody has questions, please, I may not see them right away, but please put them in the chat. Or if anything is going wrong with my audio or video, please let me know. Otherwise, I think that's everything. We'll go ahead and get started. As I was just saying when I was talking to myself, we are doing some upper body today with a little bit of core sprinkled in. So let's go ahead and stretch it out. Now I'm going to be back and forth between my camera to kind of angle it differently because a lot of stuff we're going to do for the upper body will be more on the floor, but we're going to stretch and do some active warm-up on our feet. So go ahead and get on your feet. Same thing as always. I like to start with either going from the bottom up or the top down. So let's start from the bottom up today, just to get like some general looseness and mobility and flexibility in the body. So again, if you have an upright you want to grab onto for us to do hip openers, go ahead. Or if you just want to have your hands on your hips, that's fine too. We're going to do some hip openers, 8 in each direction. So we're balancing on one leg. And here we go.
Johnny,
one.
Johnny, just a reminder to pin yourself, please.
I should be pinned. I think I. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Cool. So I'm pinned. We're ready to go. All right. So here we go. We're gonna stretch it out with some hip openers. We're gonna do 8 of them. So let's get ready for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you can hear that, that's my hips cracking. That's why we need to do this. So let's go to the other side. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now let's go back to that original leg. We're going to do some hip closers so we get a little bit of a stretch and a pull from the glutes down the side of the leg. So here we go. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, now let's just kind of loosen up the torso. Sometimes we carry some stiffness, right down the spinal column. We're just going to twist out. Let's do 10 quick rotations back and forth like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if you're particularly stiff there, you can do a little bit more of that. If you feel like you haven't quite gotten that sweet spot, we'll try and stretch out that lower back and the spinal column in a more static stretch towards the end. All right, so now let's focus on those arms. Since we're doing upper body today, we want to really loosen up that upper back, kind of open the chest a little bit, and really get those shoulders. So let's first do kind of a self-hug or an open up to the sun. You can call this different things. So let's do this for 10 reps. We're basically going to open the chest, kind of squeeze, and then close, and repeat that. So that's 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Same thing with that. If you feel extra tight, maybe you need to do a stretch for like a couple more reps. That's totally fine. Generally, 8 to 12 is a good amount for these stretches that we're doing. Now let's windmill the arms. First, we're going to go backwards. So let's do 10 rotations, taking the arms straight out and just going back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And what goes back must come forward. So here we go. Go in the other direction for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And lastly, because we carry a lot of our stiffness, a lot of our tension in the base of our head, in the neck, towards the upper back, let's just kind of do some head tilt side to side for about 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and up and down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so that's kind of a smaller stretch, but it's always good to get the neck as well. It does connect, everything connects, and that's something that you can do after the workout as well. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hoodie off. It is getting a little warm in here. So as I said, we're going to work on the upper body today. So I'm going to actually angle my camera a little lower since most of what we're doing is going to be on the ground. So if you have a mat, go ahead and get that. If not, if you're just, going with what you have on the ground, that's totally fine. Basically, the setup for this is going to be 3 rounds or 3 sets of a few different movements. And the nice thing is all these movements will be easy to keep track of because we're doing them for timed sections. All these movements are going to be for 30 seconds. I'll keep the time for you. And then we have a little 30-second rest in between each of those sets. So that's going to be our main portion today. And I'll go ahead and list off what they are. This is from our workout called the upper body build-up, and it's going to include plank elbows to hands, a lizard plank, penguins, flying plank push-up, Superman, some side lifts on both sides, and a tricep push-up. So we're getting that chest, back, shoulders, lower abs, obliques, and sides. So all that good stuff. So the first round, I'm going to demonstrate everything before we do it, and then as we go through, it'll be a little bit more fluid. So just stick with me. I got you all. So the first movement is going to be plank elbows to hands. In the past, working with other people, I've called these up, up, down, downs. You might be calling them that as well. To show you what the form is going to look like, you're going to be in that plank position, right? You're going to be on your elbows, and those elbows are going to be right under the shoulders. You want to really keep good plank position by squeezing the glutes and keeping your back flat. And from here, you're going to go from elbows to hands and then back down. That's basically going to be one rep, right? Even though we're going for time, maybe you want to count and see how many reps you can do in the 30 seconds. Try and keep those hands under the shoulders and then those elbows still under the shoulders as we go, and keep everything flat like a board. But basically, that's what we're going for. So let me get the timer ready.
Hey, Johnny.
Yes.
I'm having a really hard time with my shoulder. This one's been replaced.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be on being able to do a whole lot of shoulder stuff. Is it possible we might be able to throw in some lower body stuff too? The other person on this call with us is Tasha, my best friend. So she's down with whatever.
Okay, awesome. I love it. I like to, I'm down with whatever too. I like to kind of improvise. So yeah, we can definitely throw in some other stuff. In fact,
I'm just worried because my shoulder's not going to last a whole thing that's really shoulder focused.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So I'll try and think on the fly of some stuff we can swap out. But yeah, we can make this more of a total body thing, and I'll come up with some alternatives for what we do. So.
Okay.
Cool. So if you want to do the elbows to shoulders, you can. Since that's kind of catering to shoulders, but also core, if instead you want to do Supermans for this, that's kind of working on the back strength as well, but still also a little bit of the core. So you all are probably familiar with it, but just for anybody else who sees this later, with the Superman, you're trying to curl up, squeeze the glutes. You don't have to put your arms in any particular position. So if this is more comfortable for the upper back and shoulders, that's fine. Or if this is more comfortable for the upper back and shoulders, that's fine. But basically kind of, take it 2 or 3 seconds off or on, and then 2 or 3 seconds on. So actually, let's do that instead. I will do the Superman with you all, and then if there are other participant would like to do the plank to elbows instead, now that you both have seen what they both look like, you can do that. So let's go ahead and just start that. So we're either going to do the plank elbows to hands or the Superman. Let's get on the floor and get into that position. We got 30 seconds on the clock. Let's get ready and begin. So I'm rolling up for 1, 2, and coming down. Simple as that. 1, 2, coming down. So as we do this, see if you can keep the feet together or the heels together. Now you don't want to roll the back up too much to where you're putting a strain on the lower back, but just do this enough to where you're really squeezing the glutes, kind of like hinging just from the back, working all the muscles there. We've already got 3, 2, 1, we'll squeeze and release. All right, so good stuff there. We are going to go ahead and go into our penguins. So this is more core oriented. What we're gonna do is we're coming flat onto the mat. You're gonna be on your back here. A little extra challenge is gonna be trying to keep the head and upper back off the ground, but you want your heels far enough away to where you really have to reach and squeeze the side, because the movement, if you can kind of see what I'm doing, is just reaching and squeezing. We're getting some oblique work. We're really getting the sides there. So make it as challenging for you as you need to, but simple as that, that's what it is. We're just squeezing the sides. So let's come to the floor. We got 30 seconds on the clock, and let's begin. Squeezing and reaching. If you can't reach your heels, that's okay. Just reach as far as you can. If you can reach them, give them a little tap. It's kind of like a nice little guideline to see how far you're going. But just remember to breathe. If you need to rest the head for a moment and then come back up, that's okay. Again, that's why we like to stretch out the neck in the beginning, because of movements like this. But we are already down to 3, 2, 1, and release. Awesome. All right. So now I'm taking out some of the movements, but we're gonna just swap some things around. All right, so that means that next we're gonna do some side lifts. So I'm gonna make this to where there's 2 options for how you can hold yourself up. This is basically like your side plank with a little hip dip. I've called them different things before. RDA calls them side lifts. So depending on what's comfortable for you, you can either hold yourself up with your hand or with your shoulder, or with your elbow rather. Our shoulders are engaged either way. We're gonna do this for 30 seconds on each side. Pick whichever one you wanna start with. And again, if you need to set yourself down like in between just to kind of reset and then come back up, that's okay. Take your own pace with it. We're just kind of going gradually with this and doing what we can. So pick a side that you want to begin with. I'm going to go onto my left side here, and I want my legs in line with my torso so that they're not too far in front or not too far behind me to where I'm arching my back. I just want to make one straight line. I'm going to go on my elbow for this one because that's more comfortable for me. So we got our feet together, and it's going to look like this, where we're up and down, up and down. All right, so I'm going to get the timer ready for that. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1, and pop up, squeeze, and down. So I like to do a little 1 second squeeze at the top and down. Just think about, again, engaging the sides there. Try not to let the hips twist too much. If they do, that's okay. But by keeping them facing in one direction, kind of like you're moving between like 2 walls, 2 really narrow walls, keeping you from twisting, that'll make it a little bit more challenging. But we've already got 3, 2, 1, and done. Excellent. So now that means we're going on to the other side. Awesome. I'm marking off what we do as we do it. Okay, cool. Take a little breath if you need it. I'm on my right now. I got my elbow under my shoulder or your hand under your shoulder. Let's zip it up and let's begin. So again, squeezing, keeping it nice and flat as you can. Now, even though we're doing these movements for a short amount of time, doesn't mean that you have to rush through them. Again, we're taking all this at our own pace. We're doing what works best for us. But that also means like, make it challenging enough for you. Sometimes that means going a bit slower, squeezing it, taking a longer pause. 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, come down. All right, and now we have those tricep push-ups. Now, yes, this is very shoulder oriented, but there is a way for tricep push-ups, especially that we can, kind of ease it back a little bit. And I know these get to me really quick too, because I have a sustained injury in my right shoulder and sometimes it acts up. So for tricep push-ups, I'm going to show you the regular form first. So ideally, you would be on your toes and your hands. The stance is kind of narrow, about hip width apart or smaller, but you can also get into that stance and bring your knees down. Your hands are going to be right under your shoulders. and your elbows are basically bending right behind you, pointing right behind you, and you're gonna feel almost your arms graze on your sides. So it's gonna look like this. Now, if you need to kind of bring it back a little bit, go ahead and go onto your knees. You're keeping that back flat. I would say come down and do as many as you can, and then if you need to come down and kind of break and then go back to it, you can do that too. So it doesn't have to be a whole lot of them. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. My hands are under my shoulders. I'm leading with my chest, so I'm trying to not let my hips sink down against the floor. Breathe as you go, because I'm already feeling the intensity on this. And again, if at any point you need to go ahead and come down to your knees, you can. But just think that you're keeping your head and neck in line with your spine, moving like a flat board. We got 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, awesome. Woo, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. All right. So let's throw in one more movement that can swap out some of the other ones that we have. And I've got just the thing. It's going to be some ab leg lifts. All right, so that'll also be for 30 seconds. This is one of my favorite core movements. So we're back on the mat. We're going to be on our back. And it's real simple. You're going to lay flat. Most of your back, especially the lower back, is going to be flat pressed against the floor. I like to keep my hands right under my booty or the small of my back. You can keep it by your sides, but ideally your feet are together. They can be pointed or flexed, and you're just lowering them without touching the ground and then coming up. Now, if you can add a little raise with your lower back and booty, that's even better, but that's the general movement. All right, so let's get to it. 30 seconds on the clock and begin. Coming up and down, up and down. All right, good stuff. So after we do this movement, we're going to cycle back through everything, and we'll do a total of 3 rounds. So we already got 10 seconds left. We're breezing through it. Good job. And again, take your own pace. That's the biggest thing. Woo. And remember to breathe. And done. That's 30 seconds already. Whew. So that means we have a 30-second break. So if you need to hydrate a little bit, you may not have to just yet, but go ahead if you do need to. Whew. And just get some deep breaths in. Wipe the sweat off a little bit. Let those arms and legs stretch out. So going down our modified list now. Our second and third rounds are going to go back to the penguins, the Superman, the penguins, the side lifts, the tricep push-ups, and the ab leg lifts. So let's get back to the Supermans. We're on the floor. We're on our stomachs. Let's get ready for it and begin. 30 seconds. That break was quick, but these rounds are going to be quick too, so it's all good. Squeeze it up for a few seconds and lower it down. And breathe. Even though this isn't one of our HIIT movements, it's always good to remind yourself to breathe because we're so focused on what we do. So good job. We already got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, squeeze and release. Awesome work. All right, let's come back to our backs on the mat. Lower down, we got penguins. Get in that position that's challenging enough for you. And let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're reaching for that heel. We're reaching, squeezing on the side. Whew. Now, when we do this, try not to twist your torso. Try not to come up too much because that's not the goal. Just think that you're flat on the ground and kind of like dusting the floor almost, as weird as that sounds. We're just really squeezing the sides. So good job. And done. All right, take a deep breath in. Woo. All right, now we got those side lifts. So again, take these as slow as you need to, do in whatever form is most comfortable for you. I'm gonna try it on my hands this time, all right? So pick a side, we're getting into that side plank position. Feet are stacked, zip it up, and let's begin. I'm dipping down and squeezing up. Dip down, squeeze up. Whew. So you can have the other hand up like this. You can have it on your hips. That doesn't matter so much. Well, this is actually a little bit more challenging just because now you're kind of spread out, but do what feels right. So this is challenging me to not let myself kind of bend. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, let's switch over to our other side. Whew. All right, legs in line with the rest of the torso, hand or elbow under the shoulder. Let's dip it up and begin. We're up and down, squeeze and down. Good job. I'll put that other arm up just to get that challenge in there. Whew. This also kind of helps you just like keep your torso flat. That whole idea of just being like a plank, you know, well, it is a side plank, but the idea of like keeping it nice and flat like a piece of paper, this kind of helps. Squeeze. We got 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Alrighty. So now we got those tricep push-ups again. Whew. Take a deep breath. All right, I'm gonna do these on my knees this time so that you can see them on the knees, but also so I can kind of give myself a variation and a break. All right, so my hands are under my shoulders, my knees are on the ground. Let's get ready and begin. See what your personal best is as we do this. You can keep track in your mind if you want to, kind of count as you go. Whew. That way, for every 30 seconds that we do this, you can see if you can one-up yourself. But definitely, like I said, focus on that form. Lead with that chest. Try not to let your head sink down. We don't want that. Keep it all nice and in line. Woo, and done. All right. Another deep breath in and out. Ab leg lifts. Let's come back to our back. Back on the mat for me. And let's get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick it. Rolling up and down. Up and down. Now, if you can only do a smaller movement like this, that's fine. If you can't take it this low, you can only do a little bit like this, higher up, that's fine too. Do what you can. Now, obviously, it's more challenging the further in that range of motion that we go. Whew. Keep it going. We're almost there. A few more seconds. And done. Good work. All right, 30-second break. Yet again, it's come back again. So it's not very much time, 30 seconds, but just breathe and relax for a moment. We have one more time through for those movements. So that means that we'll be starting with the Superman position again. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready in that position because we have 10 seconds left. All right. Go ahead and get on your stomachs. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go ahead and begin. So we're rolling up, squeeze those glutes, and down. Feel that strength in the back. Feel those muscles in the back working. Really think that you're kind of glued to the floor and that you're just rolling up. That's the point there. Just engage everything. Whew. 10 more seconds. You got it. Try and keep those feet together. We got 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, release that. Good job. Flipping back over onto our back for some penguins. All right. So this is great. We're getting a lot of ab work in today. It's fantastic. I love it. All right. Let's bring our hands to our heels, starting in 3, 2, 1. Kick it. Reaching, I'm squeezing, trying to keep my shoulders off the ground. Again, if you feel any strain in your neck, rest your head for a moment and then reset. But try and just keep that head and neck in line. That should help. And just keep working. We're down to 10 seconds left. Squeeze those abs. Nice. And in place. 3, 2, 1, and release. Good work. Woo, deep breath. All right. We got side lifts again. So I'm actually going to start on this side today, right now. I'm going to be on my elbow for this one. So go ahead and get in your position. Zip that up into that nice side plank position. And let's begin. Squeeze up and lower it down. Up and down. Good job. If you start to feel your backside kind of go a little lazy there, kind of pop out, tuck the pelvis in, keep it nice and tucked in, keep everything strong. All right, less than 10 seconds. We're almost there. Woo. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right. That means we're switching sides. Okay. All right. I know I'm kind of going off screen a little bit, but I'm nice and zipped up. Let's get ready in 3, 2, 1, and go. Squeeze up and down. If, like me, you kind of realize you are twisting a little bit, it's okay to correct midway. I'd rather you notice that you're doing it than not. All right, good job. Just keep breathing. 10 seconds left. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. All right. Whew. Shake those arms out real quick, especially because now we got tricep push-ups again, and I will be on my knees again for that. All right. Hands under those shoulders, arms kind of got a nice shoulder width apart distance. Let's get ready and begin. Lowering my chest and coming up, flat back, moving like a board. Kind of squeeze the abs a little bit. This may not be necessarily an ab-centric or a core-centric movement, but it definitely does help to brace that core. Breathe as you move. We got 10 seconds left. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push off and release. And lastly, ab leg lifts. So we're coming back on the back there. Woo. Roll it down. Get those legs ready to be extended. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Lowering, lifting up. Just repeating that. This is our last movement for this major section. Woo. Good job. Way to go, that full range there. Just push yourself. Make this one the best one for yourself personally that you can. Woo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. Let's take a minute or so to rest, relax, recover. Good stuff so far. Woo. Take some deep breaths for sure. All right. So to add in a little bit more lower body stuff or even total body stuff to where we're not using too much shoulders, but maybe a little bit still, I'm going to go back to some of what we did last time, which is perfect because we, towards the end, didn't get to finish a whole lot of the last circuit. So this is going to be perfect for that. So not rushing you guys yet. We still have a totally good amount of break time. I'm going to go through what we do have here. So changing it up just a little bit. All right. So we're going to have 4 major movements. No, don't worry. Break time is still happening. I'm going to describe to you what we got. Our 4 major movements are going to be a single leg deadlift, 15 on each leg, which is basically going to be like a reaching touchdown or, you know, like a single leg balance. I'll show you, don't worry. Then we have sumo squat pulses, which will be for a minute. minute each. Now that's gonna burn a little bit, but I think you all can handle it. It's gonna be fine. I like doing those. And then we're gonna go into some cross under squats for 15 on each side. So you'll see what that means. And then just regular squats for 10 reps. We're gonna do that for 3 rounds. Should get a nice little burn out of that. We'll feel pretty good after that. So I'll demonstrate, it's kind of like the same thing. I'll demonstrate first each movement, and then as the cycles go through, it'll be more fluid. So for a single leg deadlift, let's go ahead and get to our feet here. Oh, let me adjust the camera since we're not on the floor so much. All right, cool. A little bit more. I'm in a small space and I'm also very short. So for a single leg deadlift, you're gonna be balancing on one leg and you are focusing on the hinge of the hips, right? So not so much like, oh, I'm bending like this. Much like when we're, in derby doing our single leg glide, you wanna focus on not really extending super far out, but you're balancing on one side, and then you're gonna take the same arm on that side that's engaged, and you're just gonna reach down. It's almost like you're sliding your hand towards your knee and then coming back up. It's very fluid. So to give you a side view, see how I'm kind of like sitting my hips back? This leg isn't going too far out. It's going out just enough to help me balance. And then that's the movement. So that's a little precursor there. We're gonna do the real thing now. It's gonna be 15 on each side. So I'll go ahead back to that leg. Let's get started for real, and let's begin. So here's 1, and up. 2, really hinge back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, get a little wobbly there. 11, 12, take your time with this. 13, 14, last one on this side, I promise, and 15. All right. So if you do have something that you want to hold on to, like a little weight or even something that has some weight to it, you can do that if you want. But this is like our bare bones version of it. All right, so now we're on the other side. Let's get ready and begin. I got 1. Let me come forward a little bit. 2, still don't have a lot of space. 3, there we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, good job. 9, 10, 11, we're getting there. 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, nice work. So as you can see, kind of felt a little wobble, especially if you have, rubbery ankles like I do sometimes. It's really great to help stabilize those. So good job. All right. So now we're moving on to those sumo squat pulses. So let me get my phone for that so I can time that. I'm going to show you what the movement is first. So you're getting into that nice sumo stance, right? Your knees are still going to be in line with the toes. The toes are kind of pointing outwards at an angle. And now you're just kind of lowering yourself down and doing little pulses like that. Pretty simple. So as you do it, just focus on not letting your back kind of, roll forward or the shoulders roll forward. Keep it nice and in line like that. All right, so let's get ready. We're in position and we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the knees are kind of at a 90-degree-ish angle, that's fine. I want you to be able to feel this definitely in the glutes, definitely on the inner thighs there. And again, like I said, you're just kind of like lowering yourself like you're on a skewer or on a string, kind of dipping yourself down. That way we don't put any undue stress onto the back, or onto the neck, or the shoulders, or any of that. So that's good. And of course, all this lower body work is going to be great for functional movements, but also skating, right? So this is a little good endurance movement that you can do in a small amount of space. If you need to pause for a moment or go a little bit slower with your pulses, please do so. We're basically just doing the best that we can. So we have 10 seconds left. I know, feels like a long time already, but stay with it. We got 3, 2, 1, and release. Kick it out, kick it out. All right. So between these movements, if you need to give yourself a little stretch or a little kick out, or take some time to breathe, totally fine. We're gonna have like regulated breaks at the end of each round through for 30 seconds, but please take the time that you need. All right, so now we got those cross under squats, or what some people know as curtsy squats, or what we're basically doing when we're skating, which is the crossovers. So demonstrating again, we're gonna do this 15 on each side. I know I'm cut off a little bit, but I need some room to show you what my legs are doing. So basically you're stepping under and back and lowering yourself in. Now I want you to try and take that stride as long as you can, or as far behind you as you can. Make it nice and big. And you want kind of like a nice 90-degree bend in each of the knees. So if I'm doing it this way, it's like this, and I'm stepping back to neutral in between. So we're gonna do that on each side. So pick a side that you wanna start with. Let's get ready for it. And let's begin. This is 1, and step. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, shake it out if you need to. Shake those legs out. Now we're gonna do the other side, obviously. All right, so let's get ready and let's begin. Stepping back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, stay with it, 14, one more, and there's 15, and done. All right, kick those legs out. I always like to give them a nice little kick in between lower body movements. We have one more that we're gonna do before we take our little rest, and that's just regular squats, right? We all know how to do those, but just in case you need a little refresher or need a form check, I'm here to show you. So you want your feet about hip width apart, maybe slightly wider. Let me back up so you can see where my feet are. I'm giving you a nice kind of 3/4 angle view. And I want my knees in line with my toes when I go down. So it's just like I'm sitting on a stool. And I like to do it with my hands out front so that I don't roll my shoulders forward or, you know, pop out and arch my back too much. You just want to keep it nice and solid like that. So we're gonna do 10 of those. So let's get into that form. Take a deep breath in and let's do it. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and release. Good job. All right, let's take our little break here, a little in-between break. I'm gonna set my timer for 30 seconds. All right, so that's what we got. Gonna be a little bit more fluid as we go. Our single leg deadlifts, sumo squat pulses, cross under squats, and our regular squats. So with a lot of those movements, if you can only go so far down in you know, your knee bend, like for my knee, I can only go kind of like shallow with some of my squats or some of my cross under squats sometimes. That's okay. Just do what you can. All right, so that's time. Let's go back and get to it. We got those single leg deadlifts again. So find your space, find your spot, pick a leg to balance on. And we got 15 on each side, starting now. So here's 1. Ooh, there's those rubber ankles. There's 2. Try and focus on that balance. 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep it strong. 7, 8, 9, whoop, 10, 11, I feel that in the hamstrings, 12, that's where you want to feel it, 13, 14, and 15. All right, nice. Here we go. Other side, do your best. Let's begin. 1, 2, I'm gonna move a little bit. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, whoop, 14, there's that balance, and 15, really good stability. All right, shake it out. Another thing with that too, if you need to, like, if you're starting to lose balance like I was, you need to put a foot down, totally okay, I'm gonna stop you, because I need to do that sometimes. All right, but good job on those. So let's go ahead and get ready for those sumo squat pulses. Nice wide position here. All right, let's get ready for it and begin. We're low and we're pulsing. Chest is up, head is up. We always want to look forward. So think about how this would be if we were applying what we're doing here to skating. We never want to look down at our feet. Sometimes we want to check and see what our feet are doing, but we always want to look ahead so that we're not blindsided. So a lot with these practical movements that we're doing, always look up, be aware of your core, be aware of your surroundings. All right, keep it going. We're halfway there. Woo, feel that burn in the glutes, in the quads, in the hamstrings, in everything. We're gonna get a nice burnout with that lower body. And breathe. All right, 15 more seconds. Again, if you need to take it slow, go ahead. Just do what you can. Almost there. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Kick those legs out. If you need to take like a longer kick out, go for it. All right. Next, we got those cross under squats, 15 on each side. I'm going to try and switch up the side I start with every time. So I'm going to go this way first. Let's get ready and begin. Going under for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, good job, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, shake it out a bit. Let's go to the other side now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and take a quick little moment to breathe if you need to. All right, otherwise we're going to go right into our regular old squats. All right, so I'm going to turn sideways so you can kind of see my form from this angle. Well, we got 10 on deck, so let's go ahead and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and let's take a little break. All right, so with those squats, if you can go a little bit lower to try and challenge yourself, that's great. Like I said earlier, you can only go so shallow, that's fine too. But challenge yourself and definitely keep those knees from kind of caving in or even buckling out. That's the biggest thing that we want to keep an eye on. So that's why I say focus on your knee being in line with the toes. That way we're just, creating good posture for ourselves. That's good joint health. All right, so that's the timer. That means break time is up. Whew, I'm already getting warm in here. Back to single leg deadlifts. All right, pick the leg that you want to start on. 15 on each side. This is our last round with everything. So let's get ready and begin. Reaching down, whoop, and up. For 1. And that's 2. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, one more, 15, good job. All right, switch over, make sure you got enough room. I'm gonna actually angle myself this way so that I have some more space. All right, let's get to it and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Awesome job. Way to stick with that. All right. We got those sumo squat pulses next. All right. Let me get the timer. Let's get in that position. Nice wide stance, as low as you can go. Let's get ready and begin. So we're low, we're staying low, we're squeezing, we're pulsing. Again, make it as challenging as you can for yourself. So if from here, you can go a little bit lower, that'll do the trick. But if you're like me and that kind of stiffens up your knee a little bit, up here is fine too. Just make sure that the joints feel okay, but that you're still getting that burn. All right, keep it going. We're about halfway there. Breathe deep. Woo. This is probably the most challenging movement that we have just because it's so constant. It's so focused, but it's so good too. All right, keep it going. Let's see where we're at. We got about 15 seconds left. That's not too bad. Just breathe, keep that head up. You can also kind of stretch the head and neck out a little bit if you want to from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Ooh. Give yourself a little kick out real quick. That's good stuff. Okay. We got those cross under squats now. 15 each. Take a deep breath. I need one. Whew. Let's get ready and begin. That's 1. This is 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, good job, 14, and 15. All right. I'm going to step back a little bit for this side since I have the room and so that my head's not cut off. I promise I'm still here. All right, switch legs, switch directions. Let's go ahead and begin. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good job. Sometimes I get in a group with those and I'm just like, keep going. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I so tired? Whew. All right. One last movement for this last time through. It's just our squats. All right. So get to that nice position there. Make this one your best. I keep saying that. Really challenge yourself. Let's do it for 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dig in with those heels. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it for a sec and release. Good job. Woo. Look at that. We did so good getting through all those major sections. So let's take at least a minute here. A minute's always good. Hydrate if you need to. Again, catch your breath. Just let those muscles recover, especially with the burnout that we did on the glutes and the quads there. So I want to wrap it up a little bit with one last core movement, and then we'll stretch it out and kind of cool down. So we have so many core movements we can pick from. Let me see what we got. I think today we should definitely do some dead bugs. So I like that because, again, it's kind of like low impact. It's going to help us ease into our cool down, but it's also really going to like brace and engage everything. One of those things that it's good for the whole belted area, or rather, you know, the lower abs and also the lower back. And we can always, you know, use some improvement there for overall mobility. So for dead bugs, and I know it sounds silly to say, well, here's how you do them, but I used to not do them before, so a little clarification is always good. We're going to do them for a minute. Usually I would say 20 reps is good, but I like how we're doing, you know, some timed movements today, just so that you can do as many as you personally can. Kind of pushes us to, you know, go for a maximum. So let me lower the camera a little bit because we're going to be back on the floor, back on our mats. All right. So with the dead bug position, back this up a bit. We're going to, again, keep that lower back flat on the mat. Now, I'm just demonstrating, so you don't have to do it just yet. But as the time is going, you're going to focus on keeping this glued to the floor. The knees are bent at a 90-degree angle, so already you should be bracing the lower abs here just by holding this position. And then as the time goes, you're going to lower one leg and kind of tap it to the floor, and then alternate towards the other. So this is squeezing the lower abs and encouraging us to really glue that lower back to the floor. So we're just going to do that for a minute, and then we get to cool down and stretch it out. So go ahead, get on the floor, get in your position. All right, if you're ready, let's get to it and begin. So it's kind of like a nice 1-2 count, right? I'm not going too fast to where I don't feel the muscles bracing. I'm also not going too slow to where it's too leisurely. We want to find that nice middle ground, which is why I say the pacing is like a 1-2 count. Now, oftentimes when I'm doing lower ab exercises, or we're doing something where we're focusing on keeping the lower back flat on the ground, it helps to have the shoulders and head off, but that can put a lot of strain on the neck. So you can always set it down for a moment, as long as you're still squeezing that area that we're working. All right, so doing good. We got 15 seconds left. We're already almost there. Keep it moving. Feel that burn kind of build up through the whole core. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. So from here, if you're the type of person that likes to, you know, after a kind of low impact core movement, if you like to lay back on the ground, take a moment to do that. I like to roll back up and just kind of get my bearings and sit down. This is our quiet time now. This is our cool down time. So like I said, we're going to focus more on every group of muscles that we did active stretching with by now doing some static stretching. So first, just kind of let the heart rate come down, relax, take some deep breaths. All right. So let's start from the top and work our way down. I'm going to try and focus on the head and neck and the lower back, but we'll get everything. So my favorite stretch that I like to do for the neck is kind of tilting my head to one side. So I'm going to grab the head with one of my hands, kind of like right by my ear, and I'm going to like pull it towards my shoulder and slightly turn my head a little bit like I'm looking into my armpit. And we're kind of just holding it here for about 20 seconds. So I know this maybe looks kind of funky, but once you release it, you'll kind of feel like some looseness occur in a good way. It's basically just taking away all that stiffness that we build up really quickly. So take it for about 10 more seconds here, and breathe deep as you do this. All right, go ahead. Take your hand off, release, slowly release that head, And I want you to kind of tilt it side to side. You might feel a difference there. Feels pretty good for me. So now take the other hand, do the same thing in the other direction. And I want to say this is like maybe my favorite stretch that I learned about the Sterno Masticoid stretch, which are the muscles in the back of the neck. I just love that word. So, but again, same thing on this side. Really feeling that pull. This is going to go down into the upper back, and you're just going to feel it. It all connects. It's a great way to like loosen all of that. Let's take it here for about 10 more seconds. And go ahead and release and tilt that head side to side again. And if it feels good, you can also kind of tilt it down and back a little bit, but feel how it kind of like loosens up all that tightness. All right, from here, let's do some flexibility and mobility for the upper back and shoulders. So basically, reach behind you, classic stretch, and really grab the hand, lengthen out those arms, really feel the muscles lengthen all the way down from the shoulders to the forearm. I want you to feel those shoulder blades just squeeze into each other as best as you can. So this is kind of getting a stretch in the upper back, but it's also opening that chest. So from a lot of the plank work that we did, from the push-up work that we did, and just from, again, everyday, movements and daily stress that we carry, this kind of gets rid of that. So take for about 10 more seconds and breathe and relax. All right, slowly release that. Take one arm, classic stretch again. We're gonna bring it across the chest, kind of working the opposite direction now. We're gonna hold this here for about 20 seconds. You're just really pulling that arm close into the chest, and again, feeling that lengthening from the shoulder all the way down. That feels really good. And what I like to do is just kind of rotate my hand around. I feel like I get a little bit more looseness through the forearm by doing this, but you don't have to. All right. Go ahead and let's slowly release that. And now let's do the same thing. Other arm, about 20-ish seconds. Let's hold it here, breathe. All right, slowly release that. And now to focus on the lower back there. This is a stretch I always like to incorporate towards the end. We're almost done. This is a great way to lengthen out the legs, those hamstrings, but also loosen up this back. So we're just reaching for the toes. So I want you to reach as far as you can. If for you it's only here, if for you you can go all the way, that's fine. Really reach, and then I want you to grab onto wherever on your legs that you can, ankles, feet, shins, wherever, and just kind of pull yourself forward so that you should feel that pull through the calves, through the hamstrings, but also in the lower back. So let's hold it here for about 20 seconds too. You can let your head drop down if that helps. Again, we're just kind of loosening everything up. All right, from here, slowly roll that up. Feel every vertebrae kind of go from that curved position back up into a neutral seated position. Think that you're like a snake, just kind of move around. That is everything I have for you today. If there's anything else that you need to stretch, please do. Keep everything nice and limber, nice and loose. And for any of the stretches that we did do, you can take them to 30 seconds. If any of them felt good, just really, make sure that you feel rested and recovered. But thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you all have a happy new year and have a great night tonight.